Welcome to Naturally You Radio with your host Leah Salmon, the Naturally You Coach. Leah is a best-selling author of 6 books, homeschooling mother of 7, natural health, well-being coach, and speaker who wants to help you create a life that nourishes and fulfills you on all levels, with advice on naturally healthy living, homeschooling, family, relationships, and personal development. And here's your host, Leah Salmon.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of Naturally You Radio, helping you create a nourished life. I'm your host, Leah Salmon, the Naturally You Coach, and today I want to share with you a myth that I want to crush that's holding a lot of us back from being as crazy, sexy, and cool as we all should be, quite frankly, in all areas of our life. I am an 80s baby. TLC song titles still resonate with me. High five to all the 80s babies out there. Now, I was listening to an interview with one of my role models in the world of fitness and nutrition called Sean Croxton from Underground Wellness. And for once, he was actually being interviewed instead of being the interviewer, which is amazing, as he's actually famous for interviewing health, fitness, and personal development experts. And he was basically saying in one point during the interview, it was an interview I found on SoundCloud. I will put the link to it down below. In fact, it's one of the interviews that I've liked on my SoundCloud page. You can go and check it out there, but I'll put the link to it underneath here as well so you can listen to it because it was really good. So basically, after doing what he's been doing for 7 years and becoming number one in his field, he said something that really resonated with me so much that I really wanted to share it with you all. There is a one-take myth that is crushing probably 50% of every move you make to achieve your goals. Your health goals, business goals, family and children goals, relationship goals, spirituality goals, whatever it is. And that myth is, if I try this more than once and it doesn't work, sod it. I swear to goodness. It may be once or twice or 3 times. Some people have it in their head that everything has to happen in one take. You know, like the clapper boards in the movies? Everything has to happen in one take, or 2 or 3. Any more than that, forget it. Sean Croxton was talking about, he's been doing what he does for like 7 years. He was a personal trainer. Then he started interviewing people on health and nutrition, and he holds a lot of summits on different areas of natural health and nutrition and diet and all those types of things. So he was shooting a promo video, which he's probably done 100 times before, for an event that he's doing. And he was talking about the fact that he was taking take after take after take after take to record this one video. And he's been doing it for years. He is a professional interviewer and, he does videos all the time. His videos are getting like millions of views on YouTube. They probably still are, in fact. Like I said, he's got the #1 iTunes health and personal development fitness podcast. So he's a professional at this, but he was quite happy to tell everyone that to shoot this video, it took take after take after take. I've been speaking publicly. I've been doing public speaking for nearly 18 years, which makes me feel quite old. But my recordings, my videos, my articles, the books that I write take many takes to get them right. Some people get things on one take. First take, perfect. Some of you may be listening to me like, I don't know what you're talking about. I get everything right first time, which is great. However, that may not necessarily be true for every endeavor in your life. But because you're used to getting things right first time in some areas of your life, for the areas that you have at some point struggled with, or you've at some point had to attempt to do something or attempt to achieve something many times, for those particular things, those particular aims, you may not even bother with those things anymore because you didn't get them right first time. You may just think, oh, that's just not for me. Oh, that was just something that just wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be, or it wasn't as important as maybe I thought it was. I tried it a couple of times and it didn't work. So now you've resigned that to not being as important. Whereas before, when you started doing it, it was important, but because it took too long for you to get it right, in inverted commas, you've decided now that that was not important. And that is the killer. Some people are missing out on opportunities, and I understand that every opportunity is not for us. I fully appreciate that. But some of those opportunities were so in alignment with your goals and your visions and your aspirations, but you let them go because you had to try, in your opinion, too hard or too many times to get it right. My best-selling book, Leah's Raw Food Feast, is on its 4th revision, and it hasn't even been out for more than 6 years. 4th revision. Because the first time I did it, I was happy with it. Then I looked over it again and I was like, no, I want to change it. I want to improve it. So I wrote it again. Next time I was like, yeah, but I want to add some more recipes. I want to tweak it a bit. I changed it again. Now I'm adding 24 more recipes. The whole thing is going to be in color, and I'm tweaking all the text in it. And it goes beyond like typos or grammar and stuff like that. I just wasn't happy with the first take, and I will keep on revising my books until I'm as happy with them as possible. Some people will literally write a book, put it on Amazon, do nothing with it. When it doesn't sell and it's not changing people's lives in the way that they wanted it to, they resign it to, oh, it just wasn't, maybe it wasn't a great book, or maybe everyone's silly because they're not buying it. Maybe it was because you needed to do more with it. It's not most things in life don't happen with one take. I practice like I said, I've been doing public speaking for 18 years. I still practice my talks in my mind and out loud after 18 years of doing this stuff. Some of the best YouTubers out there, people like Renee Christine from Rich Mum Business, Marie Forleo, just to name 2 of them, they have great YouTube followings. They've got loads of subscribers. Their videos are great. They have blooper reels they are proud of. Marie Forleo starts her videos showing some of the blooper reels. Renee Christine used to put the bloopers at the end of the video, and not just because it wasn't necessarily just because they were funny. They want to show you the reality that goes behind the finished product. I remember listening to Tony Robbins once, and he was talking about the fact that, like if a child runs into a room and they're skipping and they're doing a dance and they fall over, they just get back up and they keep going. When an adult, on the other hand, does that, they fall over. It's normally a catastrophe when someone like my age falls over, because we are not used to falling over. You get up, you'll brush yourself off, you'll look around to see if anyone saw you, quote unquote, fail at that thing, fall over and trip and fall at that thing, and then you'll be like, I ain't doing that again. The difference between children and us is that they don't have so many preconceived ideas and so many judgments and so many mental nonsense that we have going on. So they will just keep on going at things until they get them. Everyone can walk. And that's because as a baby, you didn't care how many times you fell over. You got up and you took another take at it. It didn't matter how many times you fell off your bike. You just kept on getting back on it and going for it until you did it. Most of us can write. Most of us can read. We kept at the process of doing it, and we respected the process and sometimes we didn't even respect it. We just knew what the end goal was we wanted to achieve. So we kept going until we did that. A lot of us have lost that childlike enthusiasm for learning and growing and pursuing a process. Don't quit just after a few goes. Many of you have maybe seen this meme, 3 feet from gold. You see 2 guys in a tunnel. In 2 different tunnels, and so you see one guy in a tunnel and there's a pile of gold that we can see, but from his perspective, he's dug this really, really long tunnel and he's just got to one small piece of earth to knock through with his hammer. But you see him turning around and walking away. So what we can see from a side view is that he is 3 feet away from gold. If he had just kept going one more time, he would have struck and got to what it was that he was trying to get to. Trust and learn from the process. It does lead to the results, but you do have to stick to and trust the process. I trust the process. I've learned that it might take me 1 take or 15 takes, but I will eventually achieve what it is that I want to achieve. You only fail when you give up. That's the only time you're going to fail at something. Not because you've taken 5 takes or 10 takes, or you've tried something 100 times. That's not when you fail. It's when you give up. How many pictures do most photographers take when they're doing a photo shoot? About 200 pictures. And sometimes only 3 of those are used. Sports photographers, you go to a tennis game or maybe a basketball game or a football match or something like that. Those guys, sports photographers, are taking hundreds of pictures just for one picture that's going to end up on the front or the back cover. How many songs do you think Nas or Jay-Z or Bob Marley or Luther Vandross or Neo or Anita Baker wrote or sang before they became famous and got a hit record? Steve Jobs, Richard Branson, Oprah, all flopped a few times, but they didn't stop. They kept going. The road to success, I think many of us feel the road to success is a straight line. It's not a straight line. There are pit stops, there are hurdles, there are landmines, there are gullies. When you come against one, learn from it and keep going. We often see the show reel of people's life. You know, like when someone wants to audition for to be in a movie or to be in a TV program, they've got a show reel. It shows all the best snippets of all the other shows that they've been in. All their best work is on show in that show reel. And we often see the show reel of famous or successful people's lives, and we compare ourselves to someone's show reel, their finished product. But they had outtakes too. The stuff that ended on the cutting room floor, the stuff that kept on going wrong. Their bloopers that you don't get to see are often what your life looks like when you're feeling things aren't working. But they are so integral to the process. Cherish all those times things didn't work. Keep them as fond memories of the strength you had to keep going. So when you finally crack it after the 3rd or 5th or 20th take, you can see those things for what they are, which was a part of the process, and maybe even lessons in patience and perseverance, which hardly any of us have anymore. And I'm not talking about flogging a dead horse here. I don't really like that expression, but you know what I mean. Change the sail if things are not working. Change things if you need to, just don't quit after just a few takes. So for example, you seek the advice or an expert's advice on achieving something. Yeah, they clearly lay out a 10-step plan for you. You're psyched, you're excited to get started, you've got your goal in mind, you get started, you take the first 4 steps that they've laid out very clearly for you. It becomes uncomfortable or inconvenient in some way, and then you quit. Or maybe you get to take 6 steps. You make really good progress, you see changes in yourself, others see changes in you, others, people that are close to you, see those changes and get scared that you're changing too much, and you may leave them behind, so they discourage you or make you feel bad about changing, and then you quit. Or you take 8 steps, you're so close. You take 8 steps in this 10-point laid out perfectly plan. Then your ego kicks in and says, you've come this far, you've done really well, you don't need to follow the last 2 steps, you can figure the rest out alone. Or you know a better way of finishing it off. Even though you went to the advice of an expert who's been there, done that, made all the mistakes, and now knows how to show you how to do it without making all the mistakes that you maybe have made. But by not following the expert's advice or the clearly laid out plan, you screw something up and things stop going so well, you get discouraged and quit. Or you get all the way to step 9, you're 3 feet from gold, but you still haven't seen the results you want after what you consider a really long time. So you drop your shovel like the little man in the meme and you walk away. My advice to you, stick with it. Through my different businesses, I've had about 5 different businesses, by the way. Through my diet changes and fitness regimes, through my experiences as a parent of 7, my homeschooling for the last 8 years, being a wife for the last 11 years, being a human being for 34 years. My advice to you, just do not quit. Be a proud owner of a clapperboard. Those clapperboards, take 1, take 2, those clapperboards you see on the film sets. Be a proud owner of one of those bad boys. When the beep hits the fan and things fall apart, you shout, take 2. You dust off your glad rags and you start again. Or you start in a different way, or from a different angle, or with a different person, or from a different vantage point, or with a different energy, or with more gusto, or with a more positive attitude. Whatever you do, just start again. I have a moment where my head is in my hands and I'm declaring I just can't do this anymore, at least once a week. I swear to goodness. But I have a very big why that keeps me going. I have 9 whys, in fact, 9 reasons why. I've got 6 children in this house. I've got a husband. I've got my mission on this planet to share my gifts. And I've got my mission to find health, happiness, and joy for myself so that I can inspire others to do the same. I don't really have time to quit because there's too much to do. One very important thing to do, again, another important piece of advice for you, another really important thing you need to do is find space to think. When things get crazy, find time to release the frustration or the anger or the annoyance or the disappointment or whatever is bringing you down and plan for joy. Plan what you need to do to bring joy and peace and calm back into your life so that you can get back on track. Then pick up your clapperboard and shout, "Take 2, baby, I'm back." Say it in an accent as well. "I am back. I will be back." Like Terminator, I will be back. So, now it's your turn. Have you started a diet? Realized you missed your old foods and stopped before you reached your goal, or before you broke your cravings, or you stopped it before you managed to lower your blood sugar levels to control your diabetes, or you managed to reduce your cholesterol levels, or you managed to heal your skin condition? Did you stop before you improved your digestion or your circulation or your arthritis, or you lost or even gained weight? Now's time to take 2. Have you started a fitness regime and you bought all the gear, but you got bored with the exercises? You found them too hard, then you stopped before you lost your bingo wings, or your love handles, or you bulked up, or you toned down, or strengthened your weak back muscles that were causing you back pain, or loosened your tight neck muscles that were giving you neck pain. Now's time to take 2. Have you got everything ready to start your business, then kept putting it off, or getting cold feet, or becoming self-conscious about putting yourself out there and worrying that people may not like your stuff, so you stopped before you made your first sale, before you got your first client, before you sent your first e-zine, before you released your first book, before you became a best-selling author on Amazon, or coached your first client, or rented your office space, or hired your first employee, or held your first big event, or made your first million, or saved your first life. Think about that. You may not realize it, but by you stopping yourself from starting your business and sharing your products and services with the world, you could have stopped yourself from turning someone's life around with what it is that you do. Whether you're a business coach or you crochet hats, you doing what you do could have touched someone's life so profoundly that you literally saved their life. Did you stop yourself before you did all of that? Now's time to take 2. Have you promised to spend time with your loved ones, your wife, your children, your husband, your parents? Did you make all the plans and promises about doing it? Then something seemingly more important came up and you parked the plan before you got to spend that quality time with them and creating some memories with them and showing love to them. It isn't just children that spell love, T-I-M-E. Now's time to take 2. Don't quit. Don't give up. If your reason for doing something is strong enough, keep at it until you achieve it. Thanks for listening to another episode of Naturally You Radio. If you like this show, which I really hope you did, please like, share, and follow the show or leave a comment below. You can find me over at thenaturallyyoucoach.com. I look forward to hearing from you soon. Have a great day. Take care and stay healthy.